Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. Today we're going to do a comparison with the Ruger Max-9 versus the HK CC9. Ruger Max-9, it's been around quite a while now. A lot of people know about it. The CC9 still a bit unknown. A lot of people like what they see. It's a bit more pricey. We're going to talk about that, but HK typically doesn't meet their customers' requests. They finally did with the HK9. David versus Goliath. Which one is David and which one's Goliath? I don't know. So let's get into it. Similar features in the terms of the barrel length. You're looking at 3.2 inch barrel length. The CC9 on the right goes a little bit longer, but both have the same barrel length, 3.2. Both have mags that carry 10 and 12 rounds. Both polymer frame striker fire handguns. Both are optics ready. You couldn't choose non-optics ready if you tried. However, out of the case, they are optics ready. The CC9 offers a Howson 407K option or without. I went with. The Max-9 has a very nice grip texturing, not overly aggressive. The trigger pull, no argument there. Nice trigger pull, nothing special about it. All right, but in terms of the build quality, I have to give it to the CC9. Okay, very little room here. You'll hear that wiggle around a little bit. A couple other things will be mentioned about that, but the trigger here is pretty nice. I don't have a problem with the trigger pull. Okay, the thing that HK offers is that it is ambidextrous with both the magazine release and the slide stop, as the Max-9 is not. You can switch over the mag release. However, if you are a lefty and you want a left-handed friendly gun, then the CC9, at least between these two, would be the way to go. Now, here is a couple of the bigger differences. The Max-9 unloaded weighs 18.5 ounces with that optic on there. 18.5 ounces. It remains very light with double stack subcompact 9mm handguns. Now, the HK CC9 hits right in the average, I'll say, with 21 ounces. So you're looking at a lighter handgun with the Max-9. Perhaps when we take them apart, we will see why. If you don't go with optics, you're looking at serrated black in both cases and a blacked out light with the HK that comes with the Howson 407K. But Ruger gives you a fiber optic tritium night sight. I would rather have that. Now, if you don't go with the optic, they give you the night sight. I don't understand what the difference is. What if I decide I want to go with my cover plate and run irons on there? I don't get the advantage of that. I don't know. Another major difference, and this one is super large. MSRP on this without the optic is $699. All right. You are looking right around at your local gun store, $600. This has dropped over time. The MSRP on this currently is $299. Huge difference there. Are you getting that much value with the HK versus the Max-9? Majorly difference. We're talking half the price for the Max-9. That is lighter, similar features. I like the build quality here with the CC9. Let's continue on. The Max-9, I currently have a Sightmark mini shot. If you recall, when this was launched, Ruger had that on their site. Maybe they still do, but it has performed great. The dot is still very present, very much sighted in. So I don't have a problem with Sightmark. Sightmark makes some great optics. You don't hear about them much anymore, but I know some of their rifle optics, primarily the red dots, work great. This mini shot has been fine. And then the 407K, no argument there. You know, I think it's kind of dumb they don't at least put a fiber optic there. But Ruger gets the check mark there. In terms of slide serrations and the slide action, well, the build quality is very nice with HKs. There's no doubt about that. A heavier recoil spring, no doubt about it. And you could say, well, you have more rounds through the Max-9. And that's true, but it's just a little heavier. I think that's worth pointing out. Now, the integrated barrel bushing that Ruger uses on so many of their handguns are present, or is present there. Not so much with the CC9. Taking a look at the trigger with the Max-9. Nice pull. Does have a trigger tab in there. Reset right there. CC9. Once again, nice pull. Reset right there. A little shorter reset. I think I have to give that to the CC9. The Max-9 has been great from the beginning, but I've owned it longer. The CC9 I've owned for 2 months now, and I shot it. I've taken it to the range on several occasions. I really don't like it. So in my eyes, it doesn't justify the higher price point. You're looking at $800, which is around the ballpark that I spent on the CC9 with the house. And I figured that already includes it. Why bother playing around? Just pay the additional money. $699, you're looking at $600. You're looking at more if you run an optic. Okay, more on the pricier side when you compare it with other ones out there. Okay, especially the Max-9. Now, when this was launched, it was much more than $299 MSRP. It was closer to $500. But since then, they came out with a longer barrel Max-9. Okay, a lot of people are doing that. A lot of companies are, I should say. HK, if this becomes very popular, they may do it, but they take a long time, and I mean a long time, to meet their customers and their HK fans out there, their requests. It's just not a priority, it seems. And so, overpriced, yes, it's overpriced. The build quality's there. I just don't care for it as much. If I had to take one of these to the range, and I make it sound like it's a chore, it's not a chore, but if I was choosing to take one of these to the range, I'm taking the Max-9. I just like it more. I like the way it shoots. I like a lot more about this than I do the CC9. And I bought both of these. I don't have a dog in the fight here, but I've made it public that this is not my favorite double stack 9mm handgun. This is not my favorite either, but I respect it more than the HK CC9. Which one would you choose? Is it a David versus Goliath, or is this or this better? I certainly would like to know. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.